So Bakalol is the first member of the top 4. Chicken Bob is the second member, advancing 2-0. Let's watch Trainer Chris Naruto Uzumaki.
Yes, Trainer Chris.
Ooh, we got some pretty cool looking decks here.
All right.
Trainer Chris running the minor Poison Inferno that we kind of a variant on what we just saw out of Chicken Bob there, except Chicken Bob ran the Rocket as opposed to maybe Poison, some of those other cards.
So I actually really like Naruto's deck against this defensive setup because you have the Lumberjack for the guards, you have the Prince for the Inferno Tower, then you have Poison to slow things down, and Giant as a big body to just survive across the bridge. So I think overall it's just really great, and sending the Lumberjack in first to tank on the Inferno Tower is better than, I mean, ideally you want something like Minions or Goblins or something cheapy to tank Inferno Tower, but Lumberjack doesn't do too bad because it moves really fast. It can get its value by attacking really quick, and then even when it dies, it drops rage, which helps the units subsequently to take down
If you are
Tower.
pretty much admitting like something has to die to the Inferno Tower, the Lumberjack is the best thing to like send in to die. It's certainly better than a Dark Prince, right?
Yeah.
And given how awkwardly we've seen the Dark Prince and guards hit each other, you could argue even that Lumberjack is better.
Yeah.
Because of how it's gonna actively sit there and hit those guards very quickly, whereas sometimes the Dark Prince hits just one at a time and then doesn't get anywhere.
Yeah. Lumberjack is a good card. Lumberjack is a good card. Oh man. The chat. All right. They've done their handshakes. Collector for each. Oh, ooh, wow, no response. Interesting. He had the Lumberjack in hand. Maybe he just values the timing. Oh,
it's funny. It switches over to the Giant, then to the Tower. That miner's just hitting everything.
Yeah,
a shovel for everyone.
Couldn't decide.
You get a shovel. You get a shovel. You get a shovel.
Oprah Winfrey Miner.
Oh, great. Now, we talked about that earlier in the group stages. If this is your first Magical Cup and you heard us talking about that earlier, the minions in the middle is one of the greatest counters.
And there it is, the rage.
Yeah, and it's like the Prince is coming in hard. Boom, knocks it down.
Oh my
coming in
God.
for that Ice Spirit, and it charges even faster. Hey, look, it may not have hit the tower, but Naruto is now 1 elixir up. Right? After kind of being behind after that minor play, he's able to pull ahead. Now, if he can play another collector and defend it, I think Naruto can continue to do those sort of cycles.
Collector will have changed the dynamic of the push incredibly, and also in double elixir phase. Ideally, he wants the collector now and to set up that push situation again, because the one thing that was missing in that push was Zap.
Well, that was a really weird Lumberjack. Why did he play his Lumberjack in front of his tower? Like, that's... Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. The grand scheme.
That's a great poison, though, because he gets not only the collector, but a lot of that mini-peck, and that mini-peck is probably going to die as well.
Yep.
And that's not a good poison for Trainer Chris, because that pump was already pretty much dead.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help the thing get there. So actually, Naruto's slowly getting ahead. 1 elixir up, 2 elixir up.
I think Naruto's push will be incredibly successful. So he doesn't have Lumberjack, so that kind of hurts. But I think Naruto's push, if he emulates that first push he did and just zaps the Inferno Tower, he will have an incredible situation for himself.
What are you going for? I'm surprised he didn't try to cycle back to the pump. He's just going for it with a minute to go.
Yeah. Yep. We'll see. So Inferno Tower is definitely away from cycle.
And where's... Oh, he's not... He does put down the minions, but it's a little too late unless he wants to zap it right now. The Prince goes down, unfortunately. But it looks like the Lumberjack is still alive. I don't see a zap coming down on the Inferno Tower.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, and that's going to go down as well.
Yeah. The cycle is so important.
Very tight game.
Yeah.
I mean, both towers are really near full health. Something's going to have to really happen in double elixir time. Or else we might be seeing our second draw of the top 8.
Yeah, I definitely favored Naruto because the fact that you have a lot of tower health means that you can sacrifice tower health to make sure your cycle is perfect. And we know that Lumberjack, Prince, Giant is a very explosive combination. If it gets to the tower in a even semi-decent way, that tower is going down.
Pretty scary counter push here coming from Trainer Chris. The Giant's there to tank a lot of it. And the poison Giant's 9 elixir, though, to defend against, what, 10?
Yeah.
So I guess while it works, it's...
Yeah. Uncomfortable situation, and now he doesn't have really a good counter push option.
Not at all.
But he's playing collectors. Defend against the miner is going to be important. There's no poison on the table because Trainer Chris just used it for offense purposes.
Now Naruto is plated on the right side there because he wants to totally avoid the poisons and the miners altogether. So putting it on the side where if you're going to play it there, you're
I think it's too late to punish that collector. If he plays a miner, he's actually going to lose his push. Zap the tower.
Great place of the poison because, those minions didn't even survive. Is the Prince going to charge it?
Yeah,
no, he's stuck.
Lumberjack.
Oh, and he hits the mini-peck instead. You'd much rather have him kill the Inferno Tower. Is he going to get up and get some shots? Not even one. Wow. So Trainer Chris really got away with that 1,000 health there on that tower, and he's still going.
Wow. And that time, actually, the read was correct.
Yes.
So he tried to place the collector biased towards the side, so it did get poisoned, but it still did. It still did. Prince is actually pretty free to move.
Ooh, and not a single minion hit the Ice Wizard. Even one hit of a minion onto an Ice Wizard would have made that charge lethal.
Trainer Chris's line of play is actually starting to favor him more and more with each of these pushes.
We're going to have to see some adaptation out of Naruto if he's going to win this game. Oh, guards get in there!
Tower.
Ooh, wow. So I think it's only 1 or 2 poisons away, depending on how... Yeah, 2 poisons away from losing this game.
Nice
Whoa,
sap.
but
Nice
this push
sap.
is looking pretty scary.
There's not a lot of elixir on the table for Trainer Chris, actually. That giant is really
no,
helping.
the giant's really close, and there's a prince right behind it, and I think a mini Pekka coming in. That poison's going to do a good job of cleaning it up, but no, one more giant push, and Naruto steals it. Another close game.
And that's what we're talking about in terms of lines of play are so important, and if Naruto makes that push work for him, that giant will punch down that tower in one go. And that's exactly what we were waiting for. The cycle, I think, started favoring... it started favoring Trainer Chris a lot towards the end of the match, but then I think he pushed a little too all in and just ended up in this situation where he had not a lot of elixir because he had dumped so much of it in aggressive play that the giant was able to make a lot of headway onto that Inferno Tower on the counter push.
Let's bring, wow, we got a giant bowler poison mirror match here, and actually they are card for card identical with the exception of Lumberjack and Mini Pekka. Let's go ahead and put those guys on the board.
So I think I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on this.
Oh, actually, Lumberjack's blue. Yeah.
So Mini Pekka has advantages over the Lumberjack. It does more DPS, but doesn't drop the rage. And I believe the Mini Pekka has a little bit more health. Yeah, we can see the stats right there.
Yes.
So in this situation, I think that my gut feeling is that the Lumberjack is just a little bit better because rage is an effect that complements multiple troops on the field. Right, and just in that sense, you gain a better benefit by playing the Lumberjack over time than the Mini Pekka.
Yeah, if your deck can use the rage at all, then the Lumberjack is better. I mean, it's hard to say in this matchup because really what's going to be key in this matchup is who can line up their, like, kind of their giant play. What you're going to see happen a lot is the giants are going to cross each other, and both players' back lines are going to be crushing each other's back lines, or each other's giant, and then trying to race up to their giant and save the day. I think in that case, you'd rather have Mini Pekka because the rage doesn't come into play till much later, but you want to kill your giant as quickly as possible in order to, like, get up to your giant and start attacking them, because as long as the enemy backlines are caught up on their giant, your, like, rescue crew can kill all of them and then your push gets through.
I can definitely see a situation where if you play your Lumberjack in front of your giant, that might change the dynamic a lot.
I see.
Because then, even if the Mini Pekka kills the Lumberjack, then the giant starts walking really fast, and your supporting troops behind will kill the Mini Pekka really quick.
I mean, it's hard to say because there's some decks where, like, if you're playing a balloon deck, I really like Lumberjack more than Mini Pekka because the rage is so good with balloon. In mirror matches, even though that is the only difference between these two decks, I almost think that it's going to come down to the play of things like Ice Spirit. Like, if you get off a really key Ice Spirit or a really key poison, that could totally change the flow of the entire game. Or even just little things like Trainer Chris starting off with an elixir collector and Naruto not having any way to really deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Actually, that's really
Look
good.
at that I'm talking about right there. See, like, everything's fighting the giant and it's allowing the musketeer to kill the enemy musketeer. So now Naruto is ahead.
Wow, one punch.
Yeah.
This bowler is going to take a lot of damage, though.
I think it just dies, yeah. So I think, I mean, you gotta say Trainer Chris came out ahead there because he's got a pump. They're the same elixir.
The hand just didn't favor. I mean, Trainer Chris had a very ideal situation. Got the bowler, got the musketeer, got the poison, got the collector.
Great read there. So what Trainer Chris reads is like, I know my opponent's going to collector now. So as soon as he tries to collect, oh wow, that Ice Spirit not landing is huge though.
So the Lumberjack,
he gets to the side. Oh no, he gets knocked again.
I would have actually preferred if that Lumberjack had died in that situation.
I think, I mean, if he hadn't get knocked back 2 to 3 times, if he had gotten around to the side earlier, he would have killed that bowler and then gotten on the tower. And I think that would have been better than just a rage giant. Yeah. But yeah, that was sort of the worst of both worlds there. But I mean, you can't actually, that was a great push. Yeah. I mean, what Trainer Chris read there is like, I know my opponent's going to pump up and I'm going to take advantage of this by pushing right when he tries to pump. Now Naruto was able to defend because of that, how well that bowler worked. And now Naruto's ahead 1.5 pumps.
Yeah. Aftermath is, now Naruto's ahead in pumps, lower in tower health.
And ahead by 4 elixir.
Yep. So this is going to be a big key moment for Naruto here. He really needs to make sure that he does a lot of damage to this push.
Yeah. Let's see. Now, it looks like Trainer Chris is opting to not play his giant out early, so we're going to see. I think he's opting to basically play the backline stuff and try to kill the giant as quickly as possible, and then drop his giant in the aftermath.
Yeah.
Great. Now here's where we're going to see Lumberjack rage, maybe just a tower as well.
Yeah,
the Musketeer's
tower,
in the range.
bowler,
Oh, it is
and
because he got
Musketeer.
knocked back. It got knocked back, so the tower is now rage. The Musketeer is rage. She just shoots down the mini pack, and she's still shooting. Even with the knockback of the bowler, the knockback makes the bowler retarget onto the enemy bowler, so that Musketeer is still firing. Wow.
And we talked about how important it was for Naruto to make sure that that particular push was really effective, and that was a handy defense for Trainer Chris. That's a lot of elixir coming down his bridge.
And was able to catch up again on pumps as well. And the interesting call where we were saying, well, what's better? The Lumberjack there was really good on defense because he knew the bowler was going to knock it back into the rest of his army.
Dropped the rage and affected 3 different key cards, the bowler, the tower, and the Musketeer.
Oh, the bowler. See, the bowler still survived. Oh, it doesn't get another shot off. The rage Musketeers are nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
I mean, doom, 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 doom. Kills that thing.
Yeah, cleans it all up. And now a second Lumberjack on the field. It's actually going to get around.
It does get around it. And now the mini pack is tied up. He's going. It's still going. Unfortunately, it's... it does. It gets... 2 swings.
Wow.
I think he'll take that. I mean, unfortunately, this push coming in is looking really scary. Now he doesn't have Lumberjack, but he does have Poison.
He's got Ice Spirit Lumberjack as a cycle.
Yeah.
But that bowler did really, really well.
Yeah, right. He hit the Musketeer and the mini P.E.K.K.A.
And Poison's gone now, which means that Trainer Chris on his counter push can clump up a ton of units.
Except that there's a bowler, right?
We'll see. We'll see if this Lumberjack can squeeze by. And that Ice Spirit 2 jumps. There's the Rage. The Rage is going to pop. Oh,
Rage does go down. 1 punch.
Oh my God.
2 punch in overtime. Trainer Chris ties it up 1 game each.
It's just such good utility for things like Giant and Bowler to have that pump available, or rather the Rage available.
I mean, yeah, you could just see intimate knowledge of the mirror matchup there, right?
Yeah.
Intimate knowledge of how that was going to work. And honestly, I think that could be the turning point of the match, because if you look at what Game 3 is, Trainer Chris is playing a minor Poison Inferno Tower deck that this deck is meant to beat Giant Bowler, right?
Yep.
Like, Bowler isn't going to knock back the Inferno Tower, doesn't have that much health, gets completely wrecked. Those pushes can get entirely wrecked by just very few cards. Ah, man, if Naruto had won that game and closed out the match 2-0, he moves on to the top 4. But now he's given Trainer Chris an opening to not just tie the series up, but steal it in Game 3 with a favorable matchup.
Yeah. We'll see. Let's see how they do. I think the Lumberjack was incredibly effective, but have to win with both decks. And this is really high stakes right now, because getting into the top 4 is the money.
You're right. While all players in the top 8 earn a significant amount of Super Magical Cup points to move on to the championships, the Season 2 championships, the money comes in the top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Edge of my seat.
Ooh, Game 3.
Edge of my seat. We've had so many intense, close games.
I can't believe we actually saw a sudden death game in the top 8. That was awesome.
The punish is guards.
And unfortunately, not a very good punch. I think he was just trying to go and bait out a zap or some other thing. But yeah, you can see that just gets completely garbaged against Bowler. Ooh, a little late on that Giant by Naruto. And we're going to see the work that this thing can do.
Ooh, why don't you
Ice
just play
Spirit.
the Bitty P.E.K.K.A. in the back?
Yeah, it should be onto the side.
Yeah.
That placement was really bad because he took 500 damage for kind of no reason.
Yeah, just the splash.
Oh, and a little late, too, on the minor because the tower shot it down.
Yep.
Oh,
no! God! Oh, my God, not like this.
Wow, so the King Tower is activated 50 seconds into the game. Now, if you're, again, new, it's your first Super Magical Cup, if the King Tower ever takes damage from a spell, troop, anything, he gets activated. He pulls out his cannon and becomes another active tower. So now, whenever Trainer Chris is trying to push, he's going to have to deal with not just the arena tower, the lane tower, but also the King Tower shooting his giants right up at the river.
There's almost no way to punish an Elixir Collector with a Miner now. If you play Collector...
Oh, there's no giant, that's right.
If you play Collector and play your Ice Spirit whenever you see the trail for the Miner, you will guarantee kill that Miner before it really does anything.
Here's actually the key thing, and I wish I could draw on the screen or show you guys, but actually there are places where the Miner can be played. If the Miner's played in the farthest left or right corner, farthest from the King Tower, it won't be attacked by the King Tower. So he does have a way to get around that. The downside is that now he can't really play Miner on back row or center placed Elixir Collectors, and his Miner placement's going to be very predictable to allow Naruto to block it if he chooses to go there. Look at that, 3 towers all shooting. That Ice Spirit is going to be brutal now. Whoa! Wow, so he just not only got a 1-for-3 counter, but did the most important thing, which is defend his elixir collector from enemy miners.
Yeah, for 1 elixir, too.
And this isn't looking very good for Trainer Chris now. That one little tiny fatal error might be the difference in this game.
Yep. Poison is going to do well.
Does he have a zap now for the Inferno Tower?
Slow.
Yeah, they're all gummed up between the giant.
Oh, double giant. Okay, you need to cycle your Inferno Tower really quick.
Still not a zap coming in, though, because you still want it to reset even now.
Yeah.
Oh, it goes away.
Another Inferno Tower going to be placed down.
Ooh, pulls it right back into it.
Oh, but the Musketeer might do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it does. It's going to shoot it down. And the Bowler tanking even just the tiniest little bit. Two pop shots. Yeah. That's not great, but it is certainly the kind of push that you need. Every little bit of damage
he's
counts.
going for a punish. So he saw the Collector knows the Inferno Tower is just a little hard to deal with right now. And he's actually committing elixir to stop the mini P.E.K.K.A. And the Giant makes it over. Inferno Tower costs 5, man.
This is the game right here.
Boom!
Boom!
Expensive. If you chose to, because